Good morning, everybody. Hi. Just gonna get things going here. And there we go. There's one machine working. And let's see if we can get the others working here. It's always so funny to get things rolling here. Oh, there we go. Okay, we're on. Good. Okay. I think that's awesome. Okay. So, hey, I can't believe it's Friday already. Wow. Kind of crazy, really. And oh, I see what's happening here. Anyways, okay, no problem. We're on. I could see you guys. Hey, Jane, good morning. So, we're going to do some stuff. And yeah, I had a busy morning because I couldn't find any wide mouth lids for wanted to do some canning and hopefully even with you guys. And, you know, preserving and all that kind of thing because the food is coming soon-ish. And couldn't find canning jars anywhere at Walmart, like the wide mouth, none. Save-On had 2 boxes, and then and I looked last night, and then I thought I'd look on Amazon, and it was just like crazy, $20 for a little box of 12. I was like, oh my God, what's going on in the world? So so I put a thing out on Facebook and found some solutions to my problem and found some wide mouth lids, so that's awesome. For anybody in Port Alberni, there are some at No Frills. That's where I ended up going, and there might be at other places too, but anyway, I found some there. So I was super happy and excited because things are coming out of the garden. Look at this. I'm so happy. I actually took a chunk out of it because I wanted to taste it, and this is so yummy. It's I thought it was a turnip, but now I'm thinking it's a rutabaga. That's what kind of gardener I am. But anyway, I was pretty happy. He was sticking up out of the ground, and I have hilled most of them, but I didn't want, I saw a little spot here, and I've had such a problem with slugs. I didn't want the slugs or the wood bugs or anybody getting into it, so I thought I would pull this one just to take a look, and he's very good, very tasty. So I'm super happy about that. And what I did, because it's so tender, is I took chunks out and I'm going to put it in a salad instead of cooking it. I'm just going to slice it because it tastes quite like radish, because it's so tender and so new and so fresh. So that's super awesome. So I'm just going to do that. Hey, Darlene, good morning. So yeah, so I'm pretty happy about my find in the garden. And so what I'm going to do here, I wanted to do a couple things, but I need to again, I need to have something soft for dinner. So what we're going to do is, like, I was trying to think of something different to do with the cauliflower, and I was going to also just mention, I'm going to trim this part off here, and that's going to go in the little compost. But, which, you know, I was saying before to you guys, it's always handy to have your compost right underneath your workspace. And then the, you know, these parts here, like the bad parts, you're going to compost. But I wash all my fruits and vegetables before I put them in the fridge. And so, so this is perfectly usable. It's not something that I generally put into salads, although you can, especially with the tender leaves of the cauliflower. But save all this stuff and use it for your veggie stock. That's what I'm trying to say. So you can just chop this up and put it with all your other ends and pieces of your carrots and your broccoli and stuff, and make it into a veggie stock. And so yeah, so if you throw an onion in there too, or, you know, the outer parts of the onion, never point the knife towards your own body parts. I was told that. Okay, so yeah, so this and the ends of the onions and everything, which, speaking of which, Remember I was telling you that I've been planting the little onion ends on the onions into the ground, and so so I have some onion greens that I grew from something I would have composted. And so that was really awesome to get a few onion greens from it. And so I'm going to add those. And then I was going to say too, I'm just going to set that there for a minute. I'm often going on, hey Heather, hi. Good morning. Good morning. I know my little things, my comments come up down here instead of looking at you guys. So anyways, if you're used to me talking about the broccoli hearts, you just cut the edge. I cut the edge off of the broccoli, the skin basically. You could peel it off, but I just find that's too fiddly because it has the little branches coming off. And the middle of the broccoli is the broccoli heart, which is actually the most tender and nicest part of the broccoli, I think. And so you chop this up and you use it in whatever recipes that you want to use it in. But my point today is not, we're not going to add, well, we could add the broccoli to it. Yeah, we could add the broccoli to it. Why not? We're always changing plans around here. Anyway, my point was to take your broccoli skins too and the ends and put it in for your soup stock, and then your carrot bits and carrot ends and little stems. You know, this is a stem from the, this is a kohlrabi stem, I think. It came out of my garden and I'm pretty sure it's edible. So these kinds of stems here, you can just put those in too, right? Just put them in for your soup stock, for the veggie stock. So pretty much anything that is a vegetable that that you're not going, that's too good to compost. You know, if it's not, you know, kind of spoiled, I guess is a good word, you know, or moldy or whatever, then you can put it in for your soup stock. So that's just a little reminder to save all your bits and pieces, and then we'll put this in the stock. So so that's that. So let's cut up some cauliflower. We're going to do something fun with it because I want to do something different. And, you know, one of the things you can do that I have done, I'm actually just going to use half this, I think. One of the things I have done before, I don't think I've done it with you guys, but I do believe I have the recipe. I do have the recipe on my YouTube. And it's where you take the whole head of the cauliflower and you roast it in the oven, and it just turns out like the most soft, buttery, tiny bit caramelized, like amazing flavor. And I do believe that with the recipe that I have on my YouTube doing this, I'm pretty sure I made a vegan gravy, like a really nice, it was a mushroom gravy. That's what it was. It was a mushroom gravy that I made to put over this. So if you're interested, you might want to check out that YouTube recipe. It's on my YouTube. Half of this cauliflower and make a little casserole. And I thought, what can I do that's different? You know, we've done so many things with, hey Monique, hi, good morning. We've done so many things with cauliflower, you know, like the cauliflower buffalo-ish wings, and sweet and sour cauliflower and all kinds of different things. So I have done the, which might be on my YouTube, I've done the cauliflower, you guys must love watching me cut things up, the cauliflower mashed potatoes. So you can take your cauliflower and you can just put it in a Vitamix, and you can make just raw mashed potatoes, add a little bit of whatever you want. You know, to me, it tastes better with a vegan butter than it does with a coconut oil, but you just add some garlic and salt and pepper, and then whatever kind of, you know, buttery, oily substance you want in the Vitamix, and you can have a raw mashed cauliflower, like a raw cauliflower that's like mashed potatoes. However, because it is a cruciferous and it has that, I can't remember what it's called, but it has the that cruciferous taste. It's a gas. What is that, Jane? Maybe you know. anyways, it has that. And so when you do it raw, it will have that strong taste. So I do prefer it gently steamed so that it's cooked a little bit, and then put it through the Vitamix for the plant-based mashed potato. Always dropping things. Okay, let's get going with this. All right, so we're just going to cut it up into little chunks, and I'm going to put it in this bowl. And I thought, well, you know, kind of a, I don't know, spicy Italian, but I didn't want to add tomatoes. We've been adding tomatoes to quite a few things lately, so I wanted something different. So having said that, what I came up with, what I was thinking was to add sun-dried tomatoes. And so I do have them here, and I have the ones that come in the oil, but I wash it off with super hot water. Like I pour boiling hot water over them to remove all of that olive oil, oily stuff, because I don't know what kind of oil really or how good it is that they use in that. But I do like the wet ones better than the dry ones. They just seem to have a lot more flavor. And so anyway, so I am going to add the sun-dried tomatoes. Tomatoes being actually better for you cooked than uncooked. You know, with the studies, in case you guys may have forgotten, the oh, okay, the roasted garlic turned out really good. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that tastes better than garlic. It doesn't matter what you do with it. Raw, straight up. If I have a sore throat or anything I feel is coming on, I'll just, I'll usually chop up a clove of garlic and just, eat it on a cracker or something, just put it on, chop it up tiny on a cracker. And then sometimes I'll just take a clove and I'll just chew on it and nibble it down like a little chewy candy. And yeah, garlic is just like super awesome, amazing, best thing on the planet, I think, pretty much. If you had nothing else, you should have garlic. Okay, so we have the cauliflower here, chopped up, and I'm going to also add for some greens. I have just a few collard leaves left in the garden. They're going to seed, and my new babies are not really big enough to be useful. So when I do this, like with a kale leaf or cabbage leaf or something that's chewier and harder to break down, I put them together like this. This is just how I do it. I'm sure there's many other better ways of doing everything than the way I do it, but this is how I do it, and people seem to be interested, so that's super fun and awesome. And so I just put them like that, and then just fold them over, and if you want to fold them again, you can make them so that you aren't cutting as much. So just wad them up into a little into a little bunch, and finally slice them, because I have said before, but in case there are new people here, when you're eating kale or those types of really heavy leaves, but especially kale, they say it is it's really hard for us to down. Part of the problem is that we don't chew enough, and the other part is that it's just the cell structure just holds on to it. And so they say to break it down by massaging it with a little bit of salt and olive oil or whatever, to massage your kale to break it down so that the nutrients are more easily absorbed. Kale is one of the most nutrient dense foods on the planet, and it really has just amazing, it's a superfood, and so that's why there's been so much popularity and so much about putting kale into everything, into your smoothies and into everything, because it really is like a superfood. So, but it does need to be pre-broken down. So I usually cut it up into the consistency of rice, so that I've broken down those cell walls as much as possible. And then when you add your, a little bit of or whatever, if you're adding a salad dressing, then it helps it to pre-break down a bit. And so it's like this, and this is how I add it to my salads. So if I'm having a, you know, I don't ever buy iceberg lettuce, but if I'm having a romaine, or right now we have the beautiful garden lettuces everywhere, and so I just add like a handful of this on top. And so I'm going to add that to the cauliflower, and I'm going to I'm going to add my cute little onion pieces here that I grew out of nothing, that I grew out of an onion that would have otherwise been composted, an onion root, I should say. So I'm going to put these in here, and then I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to add speaking of garlic, I'm going to add some raw garlic to that. And I'm going to add the sun-dried tomatoes. And I thought, you know, I really want that sort of tomatoey flavor, but I don't really want it that tomatoey flavor. I kind of want it like, almost like a cauliflower. Digging around the canning cupboard, and I thought, what can I use that would be really different and really yummy and kind of exotic? And you guys are waiting for the secret ingredient, and it is, after I finish getting my garlic in here. Okay, so aside from the sun-dried tomatoes, that's okay. They're a little bit long and skinny, and so they, you know, they might be a little, you know, not as ladylike to eat that way, but it's all right. There's nobody around here that's gonna care. So anyway, back to the secret ingredient. You guys want to know? Antipasto. I thought if I add antipasto to it, and I made this antipasto. It's a plant-based antipasto. I made this, oh my gosh, like 3 years ago, and I can post the recipe on it. It's not. It's a, you know, it's a pain really to make. Like, I really like, most of my recipes are 15-minute meals that are healthy and easy to make and quick. And antipasto doesn't even come anywhere near being easy or quick. And I mean, I guess it's healthy, but it's canned, right? So it's not a super. But anyway, I do have the recipe on there, so I thought I'm going to add antipasto because it will give the it'll give kind of an Italian flavor and kind of a pizza flavor, and just really, I think it's really going to it's going to be really fun to see how it turns out. After we mix it all together, and then we're going to put it in the oven, we're going to bake it, right? Because I still am having issues with I still have stitches in my mouth, so I can't have anything too hard right now. And I like something warm and soft and grounding, and you know, because our weather still isn't that great, and so, I mean, raw food is excellent, but I've been doing a lot of smoothies and that kind of thing, and then at night I want something warm and comforting and soft and cooked and yummy and comfort food. So you guys can see that, okay? So that is, yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. And as you know, I'm terrible for never tasting anything until right before I serve it, and then I'm like, oh, you know, I need to add whatever. So so I should taste this just to get an idea. I try and get a little piece with the sauce. All depends on what you grab. If you grab the kale, then it tastes like kale with antipasto. And if you take the cauliflower, it tastes like cauliflower. So I think I want it richer just because I added so many greens to it. You guys know I'm not much of a measurer, but I really want it to have that sort of pizza, Italian, yeah. Okay, so that's gonna be better. So, okay, so that was half a head of cauliflower. a good fistful of greens, which you may not want to add that many, and a half a jar of the antipasto and some sun-dried tomatoes. So yeah, so that looks really good. And so what I'm going to do, I have my beautiful pot here. These are, I'll be Vanna. These are from Potluck Ceramics in Port Alberni. They make the most amazing ceramic ovenware and all kinds of really, really beautiful dishes and cookware and stuff. And they, a lot of, now I'm not really sure, but I think most of their profit goes to charities. So it's a really good place to buy such things that are such good quality, and the money goes to a good organization. So they're really super awesome dishes. I have several of them, and I just love them. They're really good. You can even put them right on the wood stove. Like they're very heat safe. So there we go in our potluck thing. Okay, so that's that, guys. So I'm just going to put that in the oven, and I will put I have a little glass lid for a pot, and I'll just put that over so it can kind of steam a bit, put it in at 350, and that's that. So what I was going to show you too, remember yesterday, oh, you know what, I forgot to tell you, look, the next shiny thing, I forgot to tell you about the cauliflower is good for you. It has vitamin C. It has all those things that are helpful for the colon, and it also has vitamin K, like kale and blah 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 blah, cabbages, and so the C and the K, and potassium, good for your eyes, all that kind of stuff. I was going to say something else too. Yeah. Anyway, well, I have so many things happening this morning. And this isn't going to happen with you here. So, so I'll just tell you about it while I'm talking about eyes. I'm going to slice up these mangoes, and I'm going to put them on the dehydrator sheet and dehydrate them. And mangoes are also super good for your eyes. They have lutein and something else. I can't remember the name of it, but they're really, really good for your eyes. Good source of vitamin A as well. So mangoes are super good for you. And I'm going to end up putting these on the dehydrator today, so I won't be able to tell you that on Monday. I won't remember to tell you about the goodness that mangoes have, but they're awesome. I love them. The other thing I was going to say was these are the thimbleberries. So we talked about thimbleberries yesterday, and okay, I'm just looking at thimbleberries yesterday. And so this is simply putting them in apple cider vinegar with the mother, the raw apple cider vinegar, excuse me, and the and honey. So this has, well, let's do it. Okay, we'll do it. I'll show you. I will set this here since I didn't get to the dehydrating. Although I did dehydrate. These are the strawberry leaves that we were talking about the other day to make your own strawberry tea, your own strawberry leaf tea. Very easy to do with any of the edible berry leaves. And so I have here beautiful raspberries from my garden. Aren't they nice? And so, yeah, so let's just do this. So we're going to use a jar, the lid. And we are going to, these I picked like 20 minutes ago, very carefully. We don't need to wash them, but if you buy anything or anything is, you know, looks like it has any kind of dirt on it, always wash them. But I would suggest to really let them dry. If you do wash them and they're wet, I would lay them out on a towel or paper towel or whatever. So they don't have too much water content when you're doing this, okay? You don't really want any outside water that might be carrying bacteria or whatever. You want them pretty dry, as dry as possible anyways. Although the honey is an antibacterial, so you know, it'll protect from that, but you really do want them dry. So with the raspberries, and I completely forgot to bring the apple cider vinegar over, so I'm going to grab that real quick. And so, and of course you're going to use the apple cider vinegar with the mother in it, and this one's pretty good. I usually like the Bragg's, but I found this one on sale, and it's pretty good, and it does have the mother in it. So, and so the idea with most things that you're putting in a jar is that you're going to cover it. You want it covered. Anything sticking up out of the liquid that's there to preserve it will probably mold. Okay, so you need to make sure that you more more liquid than you do whatever your product is. Okay, so, and these guys, because they are raspberries and they have little holes in them where the stem was, they're going to try and float because of the air. So I'll have to watch them for the rest of the day and probably until tomorrow to just make sure and push them down with clean, sterilized utensil to make sure that they're under the liquid. So we're just going to do that. So you just cover them. In the case of this, these guys were heavy. For whatever reason, they floated right down, and so so they didn't stick above the liquid, and so I didn't have to fill it right up, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't add as much. I just covered them with the apple cider vinegar, and then the get a place to put my lid for my honey. I was doing this earlier, and so you take your honey. And I mean, it would be a lot easier if you, if it was liquid honey, but this is a pure unpasteurized. This is like raw from the farmer's market, which is super awesome. And that's quite a bit of apple cider vinegar. And so the more honey you add, the thicker it's going to be. And so what the whole reason for this is as a salad, you know, to put on your salad dressing. And you know, you can make it thicker if you heat it and you simmer it for a while, but then of course you're losing the you know, you're losing the raw nutrition. So this is like, I don't know, what do you guys think? I think like 3 tablespoons is enough, and I need to make sure that I use a very clean spoon and mix this in. And so what I'm going to do to make sure that that honey gets mixed in with the vinegar is to just put it on, you put it in a warm place, right? It looks like it might be sunny today, so you could put it in the sun. Just make sure you don't forget about it. Or where I usually put it is at the back of my stove, because when I just put the stove on low and then set this on top where the little vent comes out, and it's just like, you know, warmer than the air kind of thing. And I really filled this up a little too much maybe. So yeah, so try and go 3/4 for your own self. Okay, so I'm not going to stir this because I'll just squish all the berries. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to put it in my teacup. And what I think I might do, yeah, I'm just going to heat it because I don't want to crush the berries. So you can see the honey's on top here. And if you had liquid honey, it would go easier. Screw on your lid. Now that I have lids, super awesome. That was so weird with the not being able to find the lids. So gently, you know, as it warms up, just gently do that, and then check on it until the honey's melted, and then just keep checking on it to make sure that the berries are underneath the liquid. So that's super easy and really, really good. I was showing you guys, I've showed you this like 20 times already, but that's the blackberry one. And so after a while, like after, well, 3 weeks minimum at least, for it to taste like, however long it takes, like it depends on how warm it is, but however long it takes, that the vinegar tastes like the fruit rather than just apple cider vinegar and honey. So however long that takes, and then this makes a beautiful salad dressing. And so you can add it to whatever. We did different ones here, and then you can add, like, this is the oil. This was the Moroccan spiced oil, so you can add the two together if you wanted to. Or you can pour them over the salad separate if you want as well. So, yeah, so that's that. And I thought I had something else. Oh, I was just going to say, because well, I don't know if we're having summer. Are we having summer? Is summer going to happen? Anyway, during the summer months, I always make sure, if I can find it here, all my little lineups of things. This is a little tiny bottle that I found actually at a car swap meet, but it's a little tiny bottle. And I had a little loop on it, which it broke, but I'm going to fix it again. But in the summer, I always carry lavender oil with me. This has a little thing here, and you just put a little dab of lavender oil on. Carry it with you, even if you carry a little tiny bottle. They sell them everywhere. Healthy Habits, I'll have them at the health food store. And so have a little bottle of lavender oil with you all the time, because by a mosquito, you know, or even like plantain works really, really good for stings, bee stings, wasp stings, and stinging nettle, anything stinging. Plantain works awesome if you can find plantain there. But the lavender oil really works for the itch. So when you get bit by a mosquito or whatever, and it's got the little bump and it starts itching, the lavender oil is awesome for that. And you can just dab it straight onto the thing. It also, well, it's got so many uses. You guys probably know all the uses, but it's good for headaches. It's good for also if you were to feel like you got a little cold sore happening, it can help to dry that up. Lavender is one of the few essential oils that you can use directly on the skin, which is called neat. When they say you can apply it neat, that means directly on the skin. Most of the other essential oils, like they're usually distilled, and they're very, very, very strong. And so you can't use them directly on the skin. They'll burn pretty good. So depending on what it is, tea tree is a little bit different. You know, there's a couple that are a little bit different. Eucalyptus is a maybe. But, you know, they are super helpful. And so lavender oil is one of the safer ones that you can use pretty much anytime, anywhere to help with things. And so I thought I'd start incorporating a little bit about the different oils and what they can do for you. And also, yeah, I use a lot of oils in the bathtub. And when the bathtub drains, the oils are very, like, incredibly potent. And when the bathtub drains, any leftover oil has eaten through the fiberglass. And so personally for me, I would not be ingesting any internally essential oils. So that's just my own personal observation of how oil and water doesn't mix. But lavender oil is a great thing to use and carry around with you in case of bee stings or that kind of thing, and or mosquito bites, and just makes you feel good, relaxing, calming. Lavender oil is just an awesome thing to have with you in your pocket all the time, especially if you're feeling stress or anything like that. It's a really, really great one. Hey, Kate Peterson, hi. I just love the towers. There's like a veggie tower. If you want to know about veggie towers, you can contact either Ava Grote or Kate Peterson. It's nice to see you on here. I really like the anything you guys can do to grow your own food is really important. I think it's going to be super important this winter to have as much preserved as we can. So this is my goal, to share with you different ways of, you know, just different fun, healthy recipes, and then different ways of using wild foods, using the herbs in your kitchen, using anything that you can to create your own, being prepared and having warm, comforting food and things that are nutritious and healthy, and to most important to stay healthy during these times for sure. So yeah, so anyway, thanks you guys. I can't believe it's Friday, and so I hope to get on and do a couple live things over the weekend, but sometimes I just get so involved in the garden, although it is like getting to the point where it's almost taking care of itself a little bit now, but I keep planting. I've planted like 40 different types of medicinal herbs for this, for this winter coming up, and so I am doing a lot of tincturing, and I'm doing a lot of medicine making, because I have a feeling it's going to be needed, and so I want to be prepared and be able to help other people with those kinds of things, whatever it is that they need. So yeah, so anyways, we'll see you Monday. Thanks for hanging out. That was awesome fun, and yeah, we'll see you then. Oh, check out my YouTube channel and share, and tell everyone to subscribe. Tell everyone to subscribe. Okay, see you Monday.